Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to another episode of ReaperCast. It's actually been quite a while since we last did a ReaperCast episode, so with that being said, it's going to be a really nice change of pace compared to all those deck profiles and test hands I've been doing. You know, I've been putting out quite a lot of decks, so with that being said, let's just talk about a new deck that's going to be coming out. Now, we already briefly mentioned it, and that will be the Albaz structure deck, which is being delayed until 2022, but you know, it's not too long. I mean, it's still quite a ways, or rather it's quite quick to be honest. So with that being said, this slight delay will only give us enough time to maybe save up for it, but that's good news because at least it gives us time to test things out and see what it is. And I think it's quite a reasonable amount of time. But with that being said, we're here to talk about the cards being released here, the new cards. So let's find out about each of these particular cards here. So a bunch of trap cards, that's definitely going to be quite interesting to see. But the first card we have right here is Rakuin no Tsurugi, or Branded Blade, a normal trap card. You can only use one of the first and second effects of this card's name per turn, and only once that turn. So for the first effect, banish any number of branded spell traps from your graveyard, special summon that many Ice Blade tokens, Dragon Dark level 8, attack 2500, defense 2000. Now thank goodness you can't actually XC summon with tokens, but with that being said, that's still definitely really amazing stats, allowing you to potentially go for a lot of different plays out there. Now if I recall correctly, this particular deck doesn't necessarily go into too many different extra deck methods aside from the fusion summoning, but even so, this deck will just benefit off summoning tokens anyway, so the fact that you could special summon up to the number of cards you actually banish, that's definitely quite nice. Now as for the second effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one of your banished Fallen of Albaz or monsters that specifically list that card in their text, add it to your hand. I mean, that makes sense. It's kind of expected that most spell traps actually have a graveyard effect. That's kind of what makes it worthwhile, and in this case it recovers your cards to allow you to recycle them. So the next card we have here is a counter trap card, Branded Condemnation. You can only use one of the first and second effects of this card's name per turn, and only once that turn. First effect, when a spell trap card or monster effect is activated that includes an effect that special summons a monster, return a fusion monster listed that lists Fallen of Albaz as material to the extra deck, one you control or two from your graveyard, and if you do, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. That's pretty nice. It allows you to not only just recover your resources to reuse them again, but at the same time also gain a negate and destroy out of that. That's really great. Also, being a counter trap, that's really fast as well. As for the second effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one branded spell trap in your graveyard, except this card, add it to your hand. Again, that's kind of expected, it's not bad at all, not complaining about that. So both trap cards, I'm quite impressed. I mean, they're not going to be overly broken or anything, but it definitely does supplement the deck quite a bit. However, moving on, we have Mirror Jade, the Ice Blade Dragon. So this is a level 8 Dark Worm fusion effect monster of 3000 attack and 2500 defense. Requires Fallen of Albaz, plus 1 fusion, Synchro XCs or Link monster. So a very good diverse amount of options for you to choose from. First effect, you can only control one of this card. Second effect, once per turn as a quick effect, you could send one fusion monster that lists Fallen of Albaz as material from your extra deck to the graveyard, banish one monster on field, but this effect cannot be used again next turn. I don't necessarily see that as a huge problem. To be able to banish one monster on the field, that's still pretty amazing. As for the third effect, if this face-up fusion summon card you control leaves the field by your opponent, you could activate this effect, destroy all monsters they control during the end phase of this turn. I did wish that it was immediate, otherwise it's not too bad of an effect. I mean, it's okay, but I would have much rather preferred that it activated immediately. I mean, Starving Venom already does that, Absolute Zero does that, so why not this card? After seeing all these particular effects, a little bit lackluster to be honest. Maybe it's because summoning out this fusion is more easier than you think, but who knows. However, the next fusion monster we have is Rubellion, the Divine Flame Dragon, a level 8 Light Dragon fusion effect monster. 2500 attack and 3000 defense, requiring one dark monster plus Fallen of Albaz. You can only use the effect of this card's name once per turn. If this card is Fusion Summon, you can discard one card Fusion Summon one level 8 or lower Fusion monster from your extra deck except this card by shuffling Fusion materials listed on it into the deck from among the cards on your field or in your graveyard and or your face-up banished cards, but for the rest of this turn this card cannot attack. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except Fusion. I don't really see that as an issue. This card is actually a lot better than the previous Fusion monster, to be honest. Although it is a bit weaker, I don't see that as an issue at all. So if anything, this might be a bit more redeeming. However, that was pretty much it for the actual monsters that have effects, or the cards that have effects. Now we actually have some tokens, which is very interesting, but I guess since we can actually summon out tokens using this particular deck via one of the fusion monsters, let's actually see it. I mean, the artwork looks pretty nice so far. We have over here Albaz the Shrouded. We also have over here Ecclesia the Exiled. Very nice artwork over there. And I kind of like how each of the lore also ties in with each other from different archetypes as well. We literally have a token called Tri Brigade. Nothing else. I mean, that's pretty original naming, don't you think? But we also have the two Virtuous. Loving that artwork as well. And of course we have Aluba of the Wicked Dogma. Now this one actually looks really stunning. Now given that there's 5 tokens, I'm actually kind of worried that it might turn out like the Charmer Structure deck. I really hope it doesn't, because the way the Charmer Structure deck works is depending on what you buy, you might be pulling different kinds of tokens, and I really didn't like that because it forced people to buy more of the Charmer Structure deck, which I just disagree with. I think that the way it should be is that you should just be given all these tokens. So with that being said, I am hoping that I can get each of these tokens in the actual deck itself, as opposed to you getting random ones among a few of them. So yeah, let's just find out what happens. As for the remainder of the deck, we have a bunch of reprints here. So we have Thunder King the Lightning Strike Kaiju, a very surprising choice, but you know what, as a high level monster, I don't see that's being too bad of an issue because you could pull off some shenanigans, and Jizukuru has already been reprinted plenty of times, so has Radiant, so maybe it's time for Thunder King's turn. What's nice is we're also getting reprints of both the White Dragon Wyver Buster and the Black Dragon Collar Serpent as well, both fantastic reprints. But I think the reprint I'm really looking forward to here is Starlige Seifert. This card is an incredibly difficult card to find because it's quite scarce. It is a secret rare after all, and even when you find it, it's still quite a pricey card. You're not going to find it for cheap at all. So with that being said, to get it guaranteed in a structure deck, even as a common, I don't care. I really need this card, and the fact that I know I can get it in this, I'm just really happy. So that pretty much means I don't even have to go out looking for Starlige Seifert. I'll just wait until the structure deck comes out. But we're also getting Keeper of Dragon Magic, which is a great card for fusion summons as well, so definitely fantastic there. Although it's not the most expensive card, but that being said, we are also getting Effect Veiler as well as Fusion Gate. Very interesting. Effect Veiler makes sense, it's a really good hand trap, and to print Ash again would kind of be pointless, but to get Fusion Gates as well, very nice reprint here, because it's kind of fallen into the GX era. A lot of people definitely associate it to the GX era, so to get something like this is something that I think is a very nice addition. But the next 2 cards we have here reprinted is Dark Ruler No More and Necrofusion. Now Necrofusion is already pretty easy to get, it's just a common and it's not too amazing anyway, but Dark Ruler No More is a really good card. I really hope that we do get Dark Ruler No More. It's an amazing card, and just like we got Impermanence in the Cyber Strike structure deck, thank goodness for that. I really hope that we get Dark Ruler No More in this one as well. It would be terrific if we did, because remember when we thought that Lightning Strike or Lightning Storm might have actually come in one of the previous structure decks and it didn't come out? Well, I hope it's not the case with Dark Ruler No More. I really hope it's treated the same way as Impermanence was. However, to wrap up the reprints, we have There Can Only Be One, and we also have Dimensional Barrier. Now, both these cards are lockdown cards. They're really good cards to be played in a side deck, and There Can Only Be One is actually kind of going up in popularity in people's side decks. Definitely something to watch out for. So to see that you could easily get this here as well as a reprint, I think this structure deck is going to be quite amazing, to be honest. But of course, tell me what you guys actually think about this. I'd really like to hear your thoughts on what you think. Maybe you have some predictions as to what else might actually be reprinted or what other new cards might come in. Who knows? But thanks for joining me today. I hope you all have a brilliant day. I'll see you all next time.